Hi and welcome to Fluff Up. For today's video, I am making Snoopy and Woodstock from the Peanuts comic strips. I started by making a frame out of pipe cleaners. This project is small, so it doesn't need too much support, but having a frame will give me much more control over their poses. And once I had the frames, I began covering them with wool. The way needle felting works is by using the needle to tangle the fibers of the wool. The needle has sharp barbs that grab the fibers of the wool and tangles them on its way in and out of the wool. I always use white wool to bulk up the main body, but Woodstock is so small that I mostly just used yellow, since I don't need to add too many layers of wool. I wanted them to be wearing sweaters, so I used the colors of the sweaters to cover most of their body and their arms. While I was doing this part, I had to be really careful not to stab the wireframe and accidentally break my needle. I tried to make Woodstock's sweater look oversized, so I added more bulk around his wings and made it longer at the bottom. Once I had the main shape of the sweater done, I started adding small details around the neckline and the cuffs. I felted Snoopy's ears away from his body so that I could attach them once I was happy with their shape. Snoopy's ears have a very distinct scribble to represent spots on his fur. I tried to emulate that scribble by tangling the wool between my fingers as a way to make lines instead of a solid black spot. I then attached the ears, adding extra wool around them to keep them on more securely. For Woodstock's mohawk, I only partially felted it away from the body and then added wool as I attached it onto the head. This made it a lot easier to shape it as I went along. For eyes and other small details, I like tangling the wool between my fingers before felting them onto the project. This makes the wool much easier to handle and helps keep the details small and thin. I made a little sphere for Snoopy's nose and carefully attached it to his snout. And then I started working on the details of their sweaters. I made a geometric pattern on Snoopy's sweater to resemble Charlie Brown's iconic yellow shirt. And for Woodstock's, I made a little tree in dark red wool. I wanted to make a cozy winter scene, so I decided to make the mugs of hot cocoa. To make them, I started by felting two vague shapes out of white wool. Then I got a piece of flat felt and made a candy cane pattern with red wool. I cut the flat felt and rubbed the mugs with it. I used more flat felt for the hot chocolate and then a little bit of white wool for marshmallows. The last step for the mugs was shaping red handles and then attaching them. I also made a little platter for cookies out of flat felt, and I got some 3D stickers to place as the gingerbread cookies. I didn't film it, but I used hot glue to make sure the cookies wouldn't fall off the plate. And there is my needle felted scene of Snoopy and Woodstock. I am really happy with how cozy they look, just enjoying their cocoa all warm with their little sweaters. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. Please like the video and subscribe if you want to see my future projects.